In 2017, Super Mario Odyssey was released to the public. It was a brand new entry in the 3D Mario franchise, its predecessors being some of the greatest Nintendo titles of all time, such as both of the Super Mario Galaxy games, Super Mario Sunshine, and of course, Super Mario 64. It had a lot to live up to, but it was absolutely incredible, easily being one of the best Mario games of all time. Now, 8 years later, a new console later, and we still do not have a sequel to this fantastic game. Or do we? Along with the Nintendo Switch 2 came Donkey Kong Bananza, a massive 3D Donkey Kong game that released basically alongside Mario Kart World. Now, at first, this had absolutely nothing to do with Mario Odyssey. Why would it? You know, it's a Donkey Kong game. It's two separate franchises. That was until Nintendo Korea accidentally showed a picture that they definitely weren't supposed to. Instead of a purple rock on Donkey Kong, it actually showed a young girl. Eagle-eye viewers would notice that this girl actually looked like Pauline from the game Super Mario Odyssey. Was this going to be Super Mario Odyssey's successor? If so, is the game any good? That's what we are going to try and find out today. Let's take a look at Donkey Kong Bananza. When you first start playing Bananza, you are going to notice something straight away. This game does not hold your hand. You need to figure everything out by yourself. The tutorial level, for example, just throws you straight into the game and says, off with you. It lets you off the leash and you just go. You know, it doesn't say go here or go there. It just says explore the mine. And it doesn't even give you like a path ahead. You kind of just have to figure it out for yourself. This is one of my favorite starting levels because of the freedom the game gives you from minute one. You can spend as much time as you want down there. Destroy the entire mine if you want to, like that's completely up to you. This continues throughout the entire game. There are 100 million ways that you can get to each location. During my second playthrough, I noticed that you can just basically skip entire areas if you know what you're doing. You don't necessarily have to follow the story, except for the elders, of course. And the game actually rewards you for wandering off. First of all, finding more bananas grants you more skill points, which in turn makes you a lot stronger. Finding fossils gives you a lot more ways to customize yourself, which can also make you stronger with some of the percentages changes that it gives you. And during one of the final stages of the game, it actually forces you to pay 9,999 coins. The only way you're going to get that kind of coins is that if you've, wandered off in the game and kind of explored stuff and, smashed stuff up, that's the only way you're going to make that kind of money. I love this because the game gives you freedom and then it rewards you for being curious. That's fantastic. Speaking of freedom, let's talk about the breakable terrain. Breaking terrain is the core of Donkey Kong Bananza. Every aspect of the game has you breaking something. Nearly everything in the game can be destroyed. So not only is the world explorable, but the underground is too. It reminds me of Minecraft in a way. Of course, Minecraft is a lot more fleshed out. It's a lot more developed. It's a lot more open. But, I enjoy that I can dig underground and just, go exploring for coins and treasure chests and fossils and just bananas and everything like that. And one thing about it is it just feels amazing. It's just whatever way they design the smashing mechanics, the breakable terrain. My god, man, it just feels so satisfying to do. There's nothing better than destroying the ground and then getting a load of coins. And this also plays a huge role in the story. Most boss fights, enemy encounters, just general gameplay requires you to smash through different kinds of material. And the more you progress, the more material is thrown at you. So, for example, you can easily smash through rock or muck or snow, but eventually you will need to get stronger, or you need to have a different Bananza power if you want to smash through marble, for example. So it's not as simple as, Donkey Kong can destroy everything from minute one. You have to progress a small bit, you need to be a bit more strategic than that. As we're talking about terrain, let's take a look at the world itself. So the whole premise of Bananza is that the world is underground. And to get back up to the surface, you need to get to the planet core, which is the deepest layer of the Earth. I think this is a fairly unique idea. The layers themselves, in my opinion, are fairly bog standard. Don't get me wrong, like, you know, they look beautiful and they're nice to look at, but I've seen them all before. Do you know what I mean? You've got like the beach area, the forest area, the desert area. It's been done, especially in Super Mario Odyssey. The maps I loved were the unique ones where we haven't really seen them before. For example, the feast lair. It's the most random location and it just makes no sense whatsoever, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. And then my favorite would be the planet core, because I don't think we've ever seen a level kind of like that. The atmosphere for this is fantastic because this whole level is basically just building you up for the final boss. You have to, like, you know, get through a few stages and stuff like that, but its ultimate goal is leading you to the final boss, and it does so just so well, man. I absolutely love it. For me, most of the layers were forgettable. During my second playthrough, I found myself saying, oh, I completely forgot this freaking layer exists, you know. Too many times I was saying that, you know what I mean? Now, one of my favorite aspects of the gameplay is Donkey Kong's movement. Honestly, it reminds me of Odyssey. It's not as advanced as Odyssey, but oh my god, it's just so smooth, man. You'll see the entire gameplay in this video. I don't think I moved in the intended way once. Not once. There's multiple ways of getting around, but my personal favorite is the jump and roll method. And what I love about this is you don't have to wait for the rolling animation to stop. You can just keep repeating, and you just get faster. Another way of getting around is called turf surf. So by breaking off any material, you can surf it, and this significantly speeds you up. It's incredible. So, you know, surfing on different materials gives you different results each time. Surfing on an ice block over time melts it, etc. Those kind of examples. To get the best experience, I would highly recommend you watch some of the speedruns of this game. Watching these people glide through the locations like it's absolutely nothing, man. It's fantastic. Alright, so let's talk about the main mechanic, and that is the Bananza power-ups. You've got 5 to choose from. You've got Kong, you've got Zebra, you've got Ostrich, you've got Elephant, and you've got Snake. Kong makes you much stronger. You can basically smash through any material when you're in Kong form. Zebra makes you go much quicker. You can run on, like, you know, weak material that would, you know, usually you just fall through if you didn't have the Bananza. The Ostrich makes you fly for short distances. The Elephant lets you suck up material. And the Snake makes you jump a lot higher, and for some reason you're able to slow down time as well. Like, everything else kind of makes sense, but then the Snake is able to just slow down time. It's like, it was so random, and I never use it, not once. Something that I love about these power-ups is that the game doesn't force you to use them. You can still get through the game pretty okay without them. Now, you have, like, literally the 1 or 2 areas where you need to use them. They just want you to, like, you know, use them somewhat. But besides that, man, they don't force these power-ups on you. You can still get through the game without them. Again, I find myself coming back to this topic of freedom. The game just gives you so much freedom. Here are these brilliant power-ups. You don't have to use them, but, like, they're there if you want them, you know. As I've said, I've never used Snake. The Snake is just so useless. It slows you down so much, and the constant hopping makes it extremely hard to control. I feel the same way about the Zebra. He has like a charge up power where you start charging up and you run really quickly, but it makes it impossible to control. So I don't go near it unless I have to. So yeah, I think the power-ups are an amazing addition to the game. Skill points add a lot of variation to the game. With them, you can either upgrade Donkey Kong himself, or you can upgrade the Bananza power-ups. They keep you coming back to the game. You have 31 skills to get, but it's not just you get the skill and that's it. You can level up the skill. For example, the heart skill, the very first one that you get, has 7 layers to get through. So, I mean, that's a lot of bananas that you need to get the skill points. So it has you constantly coming back to the game. Like, I think you probably need to 100% the game if you want all the skill points. So it's a good incentive to get you to keep coming back. Alright, let's take a look at boss fights. If you can take one thing away from this video, let it be this. The boss fights are some of the best I've ever played in a Nintendo game. They use the material aspect so wisely. Most of them have you literally just breaking down the boss until it's gone, until there's nothing left. I think the Pika Bruiser was a fantastic introduction to this. It speeds around, spitting out enemies at you. It's changing material every few seconds, so you have to kind of plan your hits. You kind of learn how the game goes, where, okay, he's this material, I can't hit him. Okay, he's this material, now I can go at him. That's the core gameplay of the boss fights, but the possibilities they have is endless, and they've shown that here. It all comes back to how different materials react with each other. For example, in the Muckety Muck fight, you can use salt to melt him, or in the Inflaminite fight, you use snow to melt him. The Void fight takes this concept but broadens it so much. When you fight Void, you need to chase after him while he's manipulating the area. He blocks your path, he shoots missiles at you, and then he creates lava to kind of block you off. The final stage has you fighting K. Rool. He's using the Banandium core to transform into this gigantic rot monster. I have to say, the previous boss fights, they're not that hard, okay? I appreciate it. I don't mind when boss fights aren't that hard. I actually get angry or upset when they're extremely difficult. You know, I don't find that fun. There's a fine balance, and I think they got it really well here. But it took a lot longer to figure out how to defeat the rotten K. Rool. It's because there was just so much happening on the screen, with him flooding the battle area with that like molten tar, with him spawning those giant hands like a tsunami going at you. It was quite difficult, but fantastic nevertheless. So yeah, I think the boss fights were done so perfectly. It was on a knife's edge of difficulty, but I think they've done them fantastically. They all felt really rewarding, and they were just incredibly fun as well. Now, let's look at the story, and this relates back to our question of the video. Is this Odyssey's successor? That's what we're trying to find out here. I'll briefly go through the story, okay? I'm not gonna go into detail of it. It's pretty simple. The most important character is Pauline, okay? As I mentioned already, Donkey Kong and Pauline are trying to get back to the surface, okay? An evil villain group called the Void Company has stolen all the Banandium gems. That's like the crystal bananas that you keep getting throughout the game. You make your way through the layers and you finally get to the Banandium root. It's here we find out it can make all your dreams come true, and that's why the Void Company wanted it. That's why like you've been sucked down into these deep surfaces, these deep layers. You defeat the company, right? But then K. Rool steals the Banandium root. Yes, K. Rool, who first appeared maybe more than 20 years ago. Here's where it gets interesting, okay? You get to the surface to find K. Rool has taken over New Donk City, which is the city in Super Mario Odyssey. You defeat K. Rool and you take back the city and everything is fine. But the question is this canon? Is this canon? Is this the prequel to Odyssey? In Odyssey, Pauline is the mayor of New Donk City, who loves to sing. In Bananza, Pauline is a 13-year-old girl who lives in New Donk City and loves to sing. This is obvious, okay? That's everyone knows that. The answer to all of our questions comes from these two artworks. The first shows a young Pauline busking in New Donk City with the caption, "The adventure continues." Now, this could mean two things. One, it could be literal and just means the game's continuing, which it does for a small bit more. Or two, it's talking about Pauline's adventure, how she becomes mayor and eventually leading to the events of Odyssey. The second artwork is where it proves it for me. It shows Pauline singing to everyone in New Donk City while she's dressed up exactly how she looks in Odyssey. This is shown at the very, very end of the game for only a couple of seconds. They wouldn't have made this decision unless they wanted it to mean something. So yes, I think this is definitely a successor to Super Mario Odyssey. Is it as good as Odyssey? I don't think so. But it makes for an amazing prequel for an outstanding game, man. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, is Donkey Kong Bonanza good? Yes. With Donkey Kong's amazing movement mechanics, mixed with all the terrain being breakable, the freedom that you get, the amazing boss fights, the Bonanza abilities, the fantastic story. I mean, K. Rool coming back after a decade, that's amazing. This is a solid game. It's a callback to Mario Odyssey. It's the exact same developers. You know, I don't know what we were expecting, but it's the exact same developers. I hope in the near future we can get a sequel to Odyssey. maybe they could combine the aspects of both games to make an amazing trilogy. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe. Have a good day. Goodbye.